Hi guys, welcome back to Jurassic Collectibles. It's a horrible rainy day outside in the UK, so it's a perfect opportunity for me to do some great reviews with you guys. And here I've got my trusty mug of tea to keep me going. And today we're going to be looking at this. It's the Tsukuda Hobby Dilophosaurus Spitter PVC model. Now this comes in 1/8 scale, and Tsukuda Hobby was a Chinese manufacturer of scale models through the 90s. I'm not sure if they're still in existence, but they did loads of little figurines of different animals and creatures from different films, and you can actually get them in different scales. This Dilophosaurus Spitter was one of the bigger scales, and you don't very often see these come up for auction on eBay. They're quite a rare item, and we're very lucky to have this one on the channel here today. As you can see, it comes in this big Jurassic Park branded box, and on the back we've got Jurassic Park, and we've got some of the other models that you can get in this line. You can get them unpainted or painted, and in this case we've got the painted version of the Dilophosaur. Now what I really like is the Chinese lettering on the side. Look at this. So we've got the Jurassic Park logo with Chinese lettering. I love that. That is so cool. Here we've got some more, and as you can see it's number 5 in the line. Dilophosaurus Spitter. Some more Chinese lettering on the bottom, and there we go, Dilophosaurus Spitter on this side. Now it seems to me that this area here is like a window that can be punched out by the vendor to show off the product inside, but in this case it's been left intact, so it's like an unpunched version. But let's get a closer look at the back here. So here it says, nicknamed the Spitter, this 4-foot kangaroo-like animal seems playful and friendly. They're spotted like an owl, but be careful when they begin to hoot. That means they're aroused, and brilliantly coloured crest will fan out above their head. It's your last warning before they spit out a lethal spray of venom, a deadly toxin that can blind and paralyse victims from as far as 20? They've left out the T there. 20 feet away. And here we've got a scale comparison of the Dilophosaur with a human. And yeah, he's quite small, only 4 foot tall there. But as we all know, Dilophosaurs were actually a lot bigger than this, and this would have been one of the young Dilophosaurs, the ones that we see in the film. And down here we've got the other models available in this line. Now I'm not sure if they're cast off the Stan Winston models, but the T-Rex in particular does look like it's cast from the Stan Winston originals. So you can see the Tyrannosaurus Rex is number 1, Triceratops is number 2, the Brachiosaur is number 3, the Velociraptor is number 4, and the one we're looking at is the Dilophosaurus Spitter, which is number 5, and you can see it's got the Gallimimus there, number 6. Notice how the Gallimimus has a stand, and that's something that comes with all of these, is a nice stand, especially, not for, I don't know what the Brachiosaurus does, but especially the ones that are kind of two-legged, the theropods, they have a stand to keep them from falling over. So there we go, and we've got the Spitter skull logo there, and up here we've got the JP conjoined logo that we all know and love. Okay, so let's get this thing out of the packaging. So here's what you get inside the box. As you can see, we've got a lovely sunset display backing. This is all cardboard, so if I turn it over you can see he's held in with these ties, and there is the Dilophosaur itself. Now I have to say straight away, the paint job doesn't look too impressive, but you do have to remember this was a 1992 model, and these PVC models came unpainted most of the time. So these painted models were something of a rarity. Here you can see some nice instructions with some Chinese lettering, and it's just telling you how to assemble the stand. So you can see here we've got some nice yellow spots of aging, because this is a vintage piece, and you can see here you attach the stand to the base. So that's cool, and then inside here we've got the parts for the stand. So this is the base, and this is the pole that supports the Dilophosaur. So starting off with the head sculpt and paint job, you can see we've got a really nice representation of the Dilophosaur that we see in Jurassic Park. We've got these nice painted red stripes on a base coat of yellow, and it sort of gradiates out to a really sort of dark black here. And actually in a lot of the shots in the film, the Dilophosaur does look almost near black, although we know in actual fact it's more of a dark green. But they seem to have opted with a black paint here. So you can see here it's nicely carefully painted head. You've got individually painted teeth, a nice glossy tongue, and actually this whole thing has a sort of a glossy wet look that I think really makes it look like the Dilophosaurus in the, you know, drenched in rain, as in that scene with Nedry. Now you can see there's a carefully painted eye there, bright yellow with a nice black pupil, and I just think this is probably the best part of the model for me. This is the most accurate part. And as we go around to the back, you can see we've got some nice sort of owl spotted bright patterns, and you can see as we transition down the neck, you can see some nice neck musculature there. And then as we go down to the arms, there's some really nice fine scaling all over the body here. And as we transition down to the hands, you can see there's some individually painted hand claws. And for 1992, this is a very detailed model. It really was tricky to find models like this around this time. There was the Horizon model kits, which we have done a review of on the channel. I'll put a link to that down below, which was cast off the Stan Winston original. I'm not sure if this was cast off the Stan Winston original. I'm thinking not, because I'm very familiar with the Horizon model kit, and I'd say this looks a little bit off the Horizon model kit. But it's still very detailed. Now I'm not too sure about this paint job here around the torso and the leg. It does look like very obvious airbrushing, but I can see what they're going for. They're trying to make this sort of camouflage pattern that's reminiscent of what we see in the film. I would say it's a little bit too bright to be close to what we see in the film. The Dilophosaurus is a dark green, as we know, but it's still cool to see. Very nice detailed knees, and as we come down to the toes, very nicely sculpted toes here. They're a little bit stubby on the end with the claws, but still nice to see. Then as we go down the tail, you can see all the fine scaling going on down the tail. Very nice, set against a very Jurassic Park sunset backdrop. And then on the other side we've got the same details just poking through. You can see there the leg. This leg looks a little bit more carefully painted than the other side. It's got a bit more weathering going on this front portion, which actually I really like, and it brings it to life a lot more. These claws have really not been carefully painted. It's almost like they've just dabbed a little bit of paint on the end there. So that's quite funny. So in terms of the scale of this piece, you're looking at about 12 inches long, which is about 30 centimeters. It's about a foot. And then in terms of the height, you're looking at about 8 inches, which is about 20 centimeters with the frill. So it's quite a sizable piece, and you can see here next to my hands, it is quite a big figure. So I do like this one, and it displays really well in this sunset backing. Size comparison time. Let's bring in the Schleich Carnotaurus. You can see how big they are next to each other to give you some idea. So the Carnotaurus isn't quite as big as this Dilophosaur model. Let's bring in the Collectae Ichthyovenator. So you can see there the Ichthyovenator has got the fish in his mouth. And you can see the Dilophosaur is still much bigger than this figure. And lastly, let's bring in the Bull T-Rex man in a cage. And you can see he's pretty sizable next to this Dilophosaur, but again, this model still dwarfs him. All of these items have been reviewed on the channel, and actually we're giving away the Bull T-Rex from Kenner 1997 on the channel right now. So if you haven't seen it already, make sure you enter on the main page. Entry is free and simple. So there we have it, guys. That was today's look at the Tsukuda Hobby Dilophosaur Spitter model from 1992. So this is a wonderfully detailed piece. A really great addition to your collection if you're a Jurassic Park fan. Obviously you've got the Jurassic Park sunset, you've got all the logos, you've got the Chinese lettering in the logo. Personally for me that brings back a lot of nostalgia, and it's really exciting to see all of these images on the back of the packaging. So actually this is half packaging and half the actual product itself for me. And although the paint job isn't that great on the model, it really is a nice collector's piece, and we're really glad to have it on the channel. Let us know your thoughts. Do you already own one of these? Are you looking for one on eBay? Let us know in the comments down below. In the meantime, guys, rate, comment and subscribe. Make sure you enter that competition on the main page if you haven't already, and we'll see you in the next video.